Next is a lecture by Professor Gary Patrick. The title is Once Upon a Time, Making an Effective Presentation. Please welcome him with big hands.
Good afternoon, everyone. I promise you that my presentation will be extremely boring so that all of you can get a good afternoon's nap. All right? So please have a good stretch, sit back, relax, and good night. No, of course not. All right, well, as you can see, the title of my presentation this year is Once Upon a Time. Okay, so today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be modeling a presentation based on a story. And I hope that you will all recognize the story. But to start, I want to protect myself, okay? And just tell you that, as you can see, everything you are about to hear is not new. You have probably heard it before. I hope you have heard it before. Today, I will model how to use a story as a frame for giving information. And again, can you guess the story? Oops, wrong story. Sorry. Let's try that again. It began with the making of many great presentations. Presentations were given by professors and students, wise and fair. Within these presentations was bound the strength and wisdom to connect all people into the future. But they were all of them deceived, for another presentation was to be made. In the land of Aich, in the summer fires of Mount Agui, the Dark Lord Gary forged in secret a master presentation to control all others. And into this presentation, he poured all his humor and wisdom. One presentation to rule them all. One by one, the free peoples of the World Youth Meeting fell to the power of the one presentation. Good, somebody's laughing. So, today, I will take you on a journey. On this journey, I hope that you will learn how to make a great presentation. But what is a journey and what is a presentation? Well, according to the dictionary, a journey is the act of traveling from one place to another. A presentation is the act, of course, of presenting. A performance like a drama. And information is given. So, try to imagine your presentation as a journey for your listeners. And in your presentation, you should try to include a little drama. You are performing your presentation and leading your listeners. So please, come with me on a journey. On this journey, I will ask many questions. In making your presentation, you need to answer the questions. Let's begin at the beginning. As I said, making a presentation is like taking a long journey. What is the secret of making a long journey or a great presentation? It's no secret. It requires preparation. Preparation. And more preparation. Preparation is everything. But where do we start? Well, every journey begins with the first step and the first question. The first step is to decide the goal or objective. Ask yourself, why am I making this presentation? In your presentation, is your presentation to inform or to persuade? To give information or to get people to agree with your idea? What do you want your audience to know? What do you want them to learn? Next, you need to make a plan or route for your journey. What is this plan called? It's called an outline. When we write it in English, we use an outline. It's a plan of your presentation. It's a kind of map of the route that you will use, from the introduction to the body to the conclusion. Before you start writing, you should make an outline first. This will help you organize your ideas. The better organized your presentation is at the start, the easier it will be for your audience to follow you. Once more, your outline should have a clear beginning, middle, and end. You should also use signposting. Words like first, next, then, finally, in your talk. So it will be easy for the listeners to follow you and to follow your ideas from start to finish. Next question. Who is your audience? The audience will be your companions on this journey. You want to ask yourself, who are they? What do they know? And what can they learn from you? What is the next most important thing? And something that people in the back have been reminding me, time. Journeys and presentations must begin and end on time. Ask yourself, how much time do I have? Then you need to plan and practice so you can finish on time. But sometimes presentations take a little longer. Sorry. Next question. What tone should you take with your presentation? Should your presentation be formal or informal? Formal, as in a business presentation, or informal, as in having a conversation with a friend or friends? Should it be serious or funny? Dekai kao. What a big face. Again, think about your audience. You need to think of this from the start because it will affect all of your presentation. Next questions. What should you put in your presentation? And probably, more importantly, What shouldn't you put in your presentation? Again, at the start, it's very important to write down all of your ideas. Brainstorming is a useful way to do this. So here's a simple example of what I did. Write down all your ideas, try to connect them, and think of examples that support your ideas, support what you're trying to say. Then, focus on the most important points and add a few examples to support them. Next question. What makes perfect? In English, we say, practice makes perfect. And this is very true. You need to practice your presentation as many times as you can. Before the World Youth Meeting, you don't need to sleep, just practice. That's impossible. I saw lots of students practicing hard yesterday, so I think you got this one down pat. So, you need to practice your presentations as many times as you can because, one, you will feel more confident because you're familiar with your contents. Two, you can find any problems or weak areas in your presentation. Three, you can practice difficult words, stress, and pauses, so it sounds smoother and more natural. Four, you can check the time. And finally, by doing all of these things, you will feel more confident and, I hope, less nervous when you come up here to give your presentation. That brings us to the next topic, feeling nervous. Do you feel nervous before you give a presentation? Well, feeling nervous is natural. Everyone feels a little nervous when they have to give a presentation in front of an audience. As I said before, being prepared and practicing will help you feel more confident when you're up here. Remember, it's natural to be nervous, but looking nervous isn't good. You want to build a good rapport with your audience, and first impressions are very important. So at the start of your presentation, speak slowly and calmly. Try to memorize your introduction, at least your introduction. After your introduction, after you start to feel more calm, less nervous, standing up here, you can speak a little more quickly. Next, audience rapport. How can you build a good relationship or a friendly relationship with your audience? The best way is to be enthusiastic about your presentation. Okay? As I think we've seen today already with the presentations, even from the very start, there was lots of enthusiasm. Okay? And that's the best way to sell your presentation. Your energy, your interest in your own presentation is what will get the audience interested and excited about your presentation. Next, eye contact. This was also mentioned before. Standing here, just reading the paper, which is what I'm mostly doing, is not good. Looking at the audience, trying to make eye contact with different people, makes them feel like you are talking directly to them. So, try a little eye contact. Don't just look at the cute ones, look at everyone. All right. Now, it also helps to tell you if your presentation is working. I only see about 50% of you are asleep, so that's about right. All right, well, next up, body language, okay? You have to remember that when you're up here, it's not just your voice that's speaking. Your body is also sending a message. Everything from the clothes you wear, the way you stand, your hair, makeup, all of that is sending a message to the audience. So, make sure that you give a good impression. And that will also help to pull everybody in. Next, voice. What is the next most important thing? Voice. How you use your voice is very important. And it's a skill that most teachers have developed and refined to perfection. So, the things that you need to keep in mind. Speed. As I said before, at the start of the presentation, speak calmly and slowly. But sometimes you can speed up. And one of the greatest things to use in English is the pause. Pausing before or after an important piece of information sends the message that people should listen and remember that point. Next up, intonation. Again, a really boring presentation is just one level, monotone. Try to use higher and lower pitch to catch the audience's attention. And finally, volume. Mostly normal, good, but occasionally louder is good, like when I'm yelling at my kids, or low is also good. I have 1 minute left. I'll do my best. See, time is very important. Next up, language. All right. So the next question on our journey is, what language should you use? How many of you are elves? No. How many of you can read Elvish? No? 30 seconds. Gambara. So, let me translate. So, first, most important thing with language, simple and clear. Next, short words and short sentences. Next, concrete facts, not abstract ideas. Okay? Well, here's an example for it. All right? So, here's a concrete example. Summer in Aichi is hot and humid. Highs in the 30s, humidity in the 80s. True. And you can give facts to support it. Now, here's an abstract example. Summer is the right season. But right and wrong are different for different people. I am from Canada. I don't like hot and humid weather. Summer is not the right season for me. It's the wrong season for me. So, keep it concrete. Once more, simple and clear, short words and sentences, concrete facts, not abstract ideas. Last question. Yes. Only 1 minute over. Which of the 5 senses sends the most information to our brains? Well, for a sighted person, nearly 80% of what the audience can learn from you will be visual. Only 20% will come from what you hear. So the visual information is very important. Choose your images carefully. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So don't waste words. Stories End. I hope you've enjoyed my little tour of the land of presentations. We have now come to the end of our journey. And no, the journey doesn't end here. The World Youth Meeting is a long path, and one which we can make every year. So until next year, thank you. And special thanks to J.R. Tolkien, Peter Jackson, etc. And so as not to disappoint my students, when I told them that I was going to do a very serious presentation, they kept asking me, well, what about the love of my life? And I said, no, I'm not going to talk about her in my presentation. Yes, there is a little Suyongche. The end, or a new beginning for me. Thank you very much.